You are now listening to the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My headphones don't work as usual. Ooh, they do work. Never mind. We got a big crowd here in studio. We got 6 people. We got JT Bethea,
Hi.
my co-host. We have Olive. We have our newscaster. I'm a little off today this morning, I'll be honest with you. We have Alex Braun, our sportscaster. We also have our lovely ADJs, Terry and Victor. Welcome to the
Hi.
Morning Buzz, everybody. Please take it away with the newscast.
All right. So, in national news on Wednesday, video was released regarding the shooting of Patrick Lyoya, sorry, a 26-year-old black man who was killed by a Michigan police officer after being shot in the back of the head during a violent traffic stop on April 4th. According to the Associated Press, quote, video shows Lyoya running from the officer who stopped him from driving with a license plate that didn't belong to the vehicle. They struggled in front of several homes while oh my God, passenger got out and watched, end quote. Despite the video evidence, it's still unclear how the situation escalated so quickly and why the amount of force was used on the matter. Prosecutor Chris Becker stated that, quote, while the video released today are important pieces of evidence, they are not all of the evidence, end quote. In response to the murder, over 100 people marched in Grand Rapids City Hall, in which Leoya was murdered, chanting Black Lives Matter and no justice, no peace. Here in New Jersey, on Tuesday, 18-year-old Mike Natoli was charged with creating false public alarm terrorist threats after calling the Bergen County High School and threatening to bring a gun to a sports team's practice. Natoli used technology to conceal the number, with the Bergen County prosecutor's office describing it as a quote hoax threat. The high school's campus has been secured and is not being named by authorities or prosecutors at this time. In local news here in Montclair on Sunday, a Hamilton man carjacked a woman on Glen Ridge Avenue. He was identified later that day after he was caught shoplifting from the Claremont Avenue CVS. The 43-year-old suspect was charged with carjacking, 2 counts of shoplifting, and refusal to submit to fingerprinting. This case remains under investigation, and those involved are uninjured. And for extended weather, it is currently 62 degrees with a high of 83 degrees. Wow, and a low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow we have a high of 68 degrees and a low of 47 degrees. Saturday we have a high of 69 degrees and a low of 49 degrees. Sunday we have a high of 43 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. Monday we have a high of 50 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. Tuesday we have a high of 53 degrees and a low of 42 degrees. Wednesday we have a high of 59 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. And on Thursday, we have a high of 59 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. And that is all from the news update today.
News update.
Thank you,
News.
News.
Terry, that was great.
Thank you.
That's some New Jersey weather if I haven't heard it.
Well, it's always the New Jersey weather. But news is great. But you know what's also great?
What?
Sports!
Sports. Go Mets.
And we're not there yet, Victor, but in baseball news, now we're at it. The Mets have been on a hot streak recently, winning 5 out of the 7 games they played. They beat the Phillies 9-5 last night. Sadly, cannot be said about the Yankees, who lost to the Blue Jays last night 6-4. But the Yankees will try to pick up a win tonight when they play against the Blue Jays at 7. And in hockey, it's official. The New York Rangers have clinched the playoff spot, but they still played a game last night, beating the Philadelphia Flyers 4-0. And the New Jersey Devils will play tonight against the Colorado Avalanche at 9 o'clock. And in basketball, it is a good day to be a New Yorker because you know who made it to the NBA playoffs? The Brooklyn Nets are going against the Celtics on Sunday, April 17th at 3:30. And congrats to Scotty Shafir, who won the Masters this last weekend. And he's the first New Jersey born to win the Masters. So good on him and good for New Jersey.
Good for you.
And in Montclair sports, we got some good in Montclair sports because the Montclair softball team destroyed Rutgers Camden last night 10-2 in an amazing game. And the news just keeps on getting better because Montclair baseball faced off against Ramapo. And they just didn't beat them once. They beat them twice. In the first game, destroying Ramapo 14-5, and in the second game, squeaking out a win 5-4. But the Redhawks will be back at Yogi Bear Stadium this Thursday, I guess that's today, at New Jersey City at 3:30 p.m. I'm Alex, and this has been Sports.
Go Mets. Go Mets.
Sports.
But we're just going to be moving on to our top stories today. So we're going to be discussing the New York City subway shooting suspect and how he was captured. Frank James, the Brooklyn subway shooter suspect, was arrested within 30 hours of the incident through a combination of on-the-ground detective work, technology, and a possible tip from the fugitive himself. New York Police Department Commissioner Keyshawn Schwell said at the press conference Wednesday afternoon, quote, "We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere left for him to run." Officers got their first lead soon after the incident at the 36th Street subway station in Sunset Park in Brooklyn, where several eyewitnesses filmed and photographed James. I'm like out of breath. I'm sorry.
Breathe.
Call the ambulance.
Call an ambulance, but not for me. Police said the suspect also left behind key pieces of evidence that helped them track his movements before and after the incident. The gun, which was allegedly used in the shooting, his coat, a bag filled with fireworks, and James's credit card. The police said James used the credit card to rent a U-Haul van that was discovered parked 5 miles southeast of the station. Officers recovered the vehicle later that evening. James allegedly purchased the gun in Ohio in 2011, according to the NYPD. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is currently looking over data related to gun, according to the agency. Cameras were not working inside the 36th Street subway station, but he was filmed entering this. He was filmed entering the subway station near where the van has found, according to investigators. He was also spotted on 7th Avenue station in the Park Slope, roughly 3 miles north of the crime scene, which was less than 30 minutes after the shooting. This is long. Woo! Anyway, James fled the scene in an R train from 36th Street words. While investigators continue to probe through clues, including James's social media posts where he ranted against the New York City mayor, Eric Adams, police released his photo to the public Tuesday night and named James a person of interest. John Miller, the NYPD commissioner, said at Tuesday's news conference, quote, "That was a critical effect on raising the kind of public awareness." See, this in America, here is where there are no laws on guns. And I remember on the news that they were saying something about ghost guns or something about how they're not marked or tracked. And this gun violence is a problem in America, and it continues to go on. So what are people doing about it? Nothing.
Yeah,
I feel unsafe.
I feel very unsafe, especially since we don't know if ghost guns were involved in this particular situation, but the culmination of ghost guns on the rise and then these situations continuing to happen. We just had Brooklyn, and then recently we just had American Dream. It continues to affect particularly our community around us, but just the whole country in general.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating when you get trends of, okay, we're going to talk about gun control and gun violence, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to debate about this for a couple months. It's going to fizzle down. Then it's going to come back up once another incident happens. And it's caused the question of when is something actually going to be done? And that's the most frustrating part as citizens, because now you're constantly having your head on a swivel, worrying about doing things that you do day to day, going to the mall, going to the store, getting on the subway, and you're not sure if you're going to be safe that day.
Exactly. I remember I was in middle school, I was in 8th grade. My history teacher described a situation like this as a pothole. Basically, you cover it, there's a pothole, it's big, it's a hazard, right? And they just cover it up like it just never even happened. And when it's uncovered again, that's when the problem's back. And here we are back to square one. It's just the same thing over and over again, and it's a problem in America. Don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure if other countries have a problem like we do, but I don't think we do. I don't think other countries do.
Yeah, yesterday I was in New York and I was like, oh, now you hear me? I'm good.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
I was in New York yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, there was a shooting recently. Oh my
It
god.
makes you really tense
Yeah,
to be
and
in those
I was
areas.
like, because I was like, okay, either I go to that Broadway show, I booked my tickets, or I don't go because of my safety. Obviously, I decided to go. I was like, okay, I can survive. I'll be in crowded areas just in case. Like, I'll be in Times Square, and then I'll go to the theater. And obviously, I went to the theater, it was cool, but still, I was nervous, and I was receiving emergency alerts saying, oh, there's a suspect on the loose. I'm like, oh my
Yeah, that's
god.
horrifying.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they
The
wanna
day
do
of
everything.
the
I'm sorry.
shooting, I went to a Ranger. Me and my dad went to a Rangers game. It was at night, so we didn't know. I mean, we knew, but we were like, we're not going in the subway. We're gonna make sure we keep our eyes vigilant. And it was just crazy because I was not too. I'm not a very nervous person, but like, it was a little unsettling knowing that he was still running like rampant around the city.
Exactly. And that
People
just
like
goes
to
to show
pretend these are
what
new issues.
just
They're
something
not.
needs to be done about
Yeah,
it.
and
It's the
al-
same thing.
It calls the question
Yeah.
also in New
Yeah.
York. There's a severe mental health problem in New York as well. And that's something that kind of factors into all these violent acts that have been occurring in the city. And something needs to be done about that too, because gun violence and mental health often are coinciding with each other with many mass shootings that happen in the country. And I think just as a country, we need to focus on mental health. We need to focus on keeping our communities safe because that's just the right thing to do, especially coming out of a pandemic where everyone's mental health was affected so severely. And the fact that our legislators seem to just be wanting to just go about it as if all is normal, all is well, when that is just not the case and more action needs to be done in terms of rectifying these situations and providing more resources to people to seek help, especially in New York City, where so many the subway has not been safe in New York City for
No.
a very long
I
time.
think never.
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 But especially in the past couple of months with the increase in violent acts happening on the subway, it's concerning.
Mhm.
So
It is.
I don't know. I won't be going into the city for a little bit.
I please, I'm not going nowhere near the city if I'm being honest with you. But we're gonna be moving on to some lighter news. So JT,
Mountainside Hospital recognized for LGBTQ plus policies and practices. Mountainside Hospital has received a leader status with a perfect score of 100 from the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, the educational arm of the nation's largest lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer civil rights organization, and the hospital has now announced this in a release. The designation demonstrates the hospital's commitment to equitable treatment and public commitment to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning patients, visitors, and team members. Tim O'Brien, CEO of Mountainside Hospital, said in the release, quote, "We are proud to be recognized by the Human Rights Campaign for our efforts to provide an inclusive and equitable environment for our patients, team members, and visitors. We are committed to delivering respectful, compassionate care that meets the unique needs of our LGBTQ plus patients and their families." Mountainside said in the release that it is committed to addressing the unique needs of the issues of the community and has implemented policies and practices included diversity training and education, including cultural competency, Jesus, training on LGBTQ plus patient care and other related topics, along with training on how to collect sexual and gender identity data for the hospital electronic health records.
see,
Policies pertaining to the management and treatment of transgender patients, non-discrimination and anti-harassment, equal employment opportunity, and Americans with Disabilities Act. Meaningful community partnerships and outreach programs with partners such as Diversity Equality, this creation of a gender-neutral single-stall restrooms throughout the facility.
gay rights.
Gay rights.
Gay
Gay
rights.
Yay.
It's finally to hear some good news.
For the LGBTQ community.
Right.
Exactly, because
It's
they've
about time.
the community has been going through a lot recently between Florida's Don't Say Gay bill and a version of Ohio's bill going through. So it's finally nice that they're getting the recognition and to be treated like human beings and to be considered because they are humans at the end of the day. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, despite all the people in Jersey trying to say otherwise.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I look
That's
forward
coming
to
through, too.
people like kind of fighting over this kind of status. Like, who's gonna be the best catering to marginalized communities. Like,
Who's gonna treat people like people? Who's gonna be first?
right,
Is it gonna be you?
Exactly. Yeah.
like I want people to be scrambling to be those people. You know what I mean? I hope this news can be more just, I hope it's less news and more just the way that things are as time goes on.
Right.
I just hope this is the norm going forward,
Yeah.
because this is great news to hear, but it's honestly sad in a way that people are like, this is not normal.
Mhm.
This is not the norm.
Exactly.
I
Because-
think, honestly, it's just more recognizing that that is a thing. I think they've always treated people like people there. I mean, actually, when I had my bike accident last week, that's where I went, and I've always gotten great service at the hospital. But I think more it's just like highlighting that it is of importance. I don't think it's a new thing, but I think it's cool that they are recognizing it, even though I do understand what you're saying. It's just because, like, when you start recognizing people, that people like being recognized. So it might actually motivate some people that are behind, to do something, to
That's
contribute in some way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It just circles back to being in leadership positions and understanding the community. I keep saying this every week. You have to understand the communities that you serve in order to do your job correctly.
Mhm.
And
Preach.
thank you.
Yeah, honestly, no, that's real.
And there was a time, I think, during the Trump administration where a lot of hospitals were turning away LGBTQ individuals, and
I remember
specifically
that.
transgender people, because of how they identify.
Hmm.
And being that if you are a medical professional or a person that serves communities in general, you take some sort of oath to serve and protect in some capacity all people
I was
that
gonna
you
say-
encounter.
All people, right?
And you have the audacity to say that because of your quote unquote beliefs, you can't serve this person, even though you vowed to protect
Exactly.
all people.
It's the
it's so contradictory.
Hippocratic
Hippocratic. Yeah, you got a Hippocratic.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
ironic because
Hippocratic.
it's
I'm using that now.
Not Hippocratic.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, you good. I found a new word now.
that's cool. Alex has some sports news
I have some sports.
Oh.
I get to read some special news.
because Alex gets to read a weird news story.
You know, the
every
buzz
week.
really, as I think it's made my mind a little change on reading.
Yeah.
Some reading is good.
Oh my goodness. In a matter of weeks, we
Alex
love
said-
reading.
Alex said he likes to read.
I never said I
Wow.
like to read. I said it might have like changed my mind a tad.
Mm.
Okay,
I'll
that-
take it.
that's
I'll
the
take
that's
it.
the
Character
first.
development.
Yep, that's the
That-
first
that's
step.
progress.
My
Yes.
character arc.
Oh my gosh.
Frito-Lay's introduces Cracker Jills to honor women's in sports. Frito-Lay's is honoring women in big donation. Victor, in big donation to Women's in Sports Foundation, and special edition a bag of Cracker Jills. Cracker Jacks is committing $200,000 to the foundation and is also asking fans to donate. Those who donate at least $5 will get a bag of Cracker Jills. The company says the iconic baseball stack celebrates women who break down barriers in sports. Tina Mall, vice president of marketing and Frito-Lay's in North America, said, quote, "We are constantly inspired by many women who are making history by breaking the mold, and we want to celebrate their achievement while supporting the progress. Cracker Jacks has been a part of the sports for over a century. As records were made, the rules changed. We have been so inspired by how girls and women are changing the face of the game. So in spirit to introduce Cracker Jills shows girls that they are represented even in the most iconic snacks, and there will be 5 different Cracker Jills bag. You can also find them at professional ballparks around the country. There better be a prize at the bottom of the bag.
Women in sports.
Women in sports. We love to
Women in
see it.
I love the
in
message. I love
sports.
everything, but the name really, oh my life, like,
It's not
really
the
got me.
best.
It's not
Yeah.
the best.
Y'all want to know really good women in sports? Lara caught a football yesterday.
She did.
No, I didn't catch it. I threw it.
Yeah.
She played the sports, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am the sport. I am football.
Full
Women in
jock.
sports.
Women in sports.
We know also women in STEM.
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM, yes.
Also, women in
Women-
film. Women in
Yeah.
film.
Women everywhere. please.
Women.
It's ladies' night.
Hey,
Oh,
hands up, right?
oh.
Yep.
I feel like it could have been
Yeah.
like.
Some talk.
I feel like it could have been like Cracker
Our music
Jackies. or
library.
something.
Cracker
Yeah,
Jack.
that's a better
I think
name.
they tried to win with like the Jack and Jill, but when you
I
add the
get it,
S,
but-
it just
Wow.
changes everything.
Cracker
Nah,
Jackies is cute.
Cracker
Yeah, it kind of
Jackies
cracked me
is.
up. I'm
Wait,
like,
first of all, is Cracker Jill's just Cracker Jacks, but
Yes.
Yeah.
labeled? I just wanted to make sure that I heard correctly because I mean it's still yummy. At least they didn't try to mess with the formula.
I think Cracker Jacks. What are Cracker Jacks?
they're
Take-
like
They're
me.
caramel popcorn with
Uh-huh.
peanuts
Yeah.
thrown in.
Ooh, I've had them before. I just don't know what they are.
they're good. That's where they are.
Take
Exactly,
me out to the
exactly.
ball game. Take me out to the
Third
ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jill.
Okay.
There you
Ew.
go.
What?
I'm
I
scared.
gotta say,
I'm really
I gotta
scared.
say, that cracked me up.
Ah,
I would do the badum-tis if I knew how to do it.
that's
I
some
would
nut-
do the badontis. I love that.
that's some nutty humor.
Badum-tis. But
Not the badontis.
Wait, I'm gonna tell the joke again. I'm gonna give you the cue. I'm gonna give you the cue. I gotta say, that cracked me up.
Yay, purr.
That was a pretty nutty joke, Victor.
Ah, yeah.
We have fun here on the Thursday. morning.
Would you say we get it popping?
Now that was pretty corny.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a home run to me.
Yeah, definitely hit it out of the park with that one.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
I don't know why you guys all
Nice
try to
shot.
all just
Nice.
Oh,
No. Oh God. JT, next story.
a YouTuber filmed California police, forget 12, blasting Disney music while they investigated a car theft. Officers played Disney hits like "You've Got a Friend in Me" and "We Don't Talk About Bruno." No. During the investigation on April 4th in Santa Ana. What is West California's town names? Anyway, the loud music woke up a Santa Ana weird Councilman Jonathan Ryan Hernandez, among other neighbors, the video shows. An officer is seen in the video telling Hernandez they were playing the music because the person recording them wasn't allowing them to conduct their investigation. When Hernandez asks officers about the music, the officer says, because he will get copyright infringement. Hater, the video shows. The person filming officers is a YouTuber who films Santa Ana police and posts the videos on their channel called Santa Ana Audits. The Santa Ana Police Department did not immediately respond to Mick Clutchy. Oh my God. News request for comment. Chief of Police David Valentin said statement to KABC TV, quote, "My expectation is that all police department employees perform their duties with dignity and respect in the community we are disturbed. Disney music is copyrighted and requires authorization before using their content online. YouTube will remove videos as copyright material." Many things about this. Number one, there's ways around that. People make reaction YouTube videos all the time, avoiding copyright.
I
That's number
used
one.
to.
Number two, what is with California names? From your names to the name of the town, they're all odd. Get better
Hold
names.
on. Wait, so guys, I actually know a bit about this and like actually letting the story sink in. This is actually kind of a bad thing because first of all, while I'm grateful to know that if I don't want a YouTuber filming me, I can just play Disney music. I'm actually familiar with these audits that people do. I have a friend of mine that like watches them, and basically it's people that hold the policemen responsible. So that's kind of the only drawback of this is that these platforms that do these audits and stream them, a lot of the time they're live. They do it to keep the police responsible and to hold them accountable for acts of brutality. So that's my only thing that I hate because somehow I guess the police have figured out a way to like you know,
Ward them off.
exactly.
And
And that's the thing. You could still post a video as it is, but you know, cops sometimes will what they say is more incriminating than what they do. It just depends, you know. So it's kind of like, you know, you can see a cop you know, enacting brutality, but if he's threatening you and you're not able to have that on your channel, or your stream gets cut off because of the Disney music, then they're not able to hold them accountable.
5-0 getting a little crazy out
That's
here.
so true.
The weird news
We
on the
don't
morning
talk
buzz
about
today
5-0,
It is
has
definitely
been-
weird.
has been kind of dark, not dark, but hour one worthy.
Our one.
It is very much our one worthy.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad
we
we're
don't
having these
talk about
conversations.
No, but
though.
it's good for us to dissect, because I was kind of
Yeah.
just excited about the fact that I can deter vloggers that I don't like, videos I don't want to be a part of. But how often does that actually happen? Like,
Yeah.
That's
this
very
is,
true.
you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about some other
Noted. Blast
situation.
copyright music if you don't want the
Right.
film students to run up
Yeah.
on you.
But I think Disney is about to. I think that's about to end, right?
What?
I know Winnie the Pooh is going to become public.
Public domain.
Unless
Public
they push it back
domain
again, like they did
is
the first
already-
time.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they
Public domain.
sometimes
That
they
money
find ways to
monopoly?
renew it.
I think they will renew it. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
That
I don't
evil-
think they can past a certain point. That's what I
Okay,
mean. I
that
think
evil
Oh.
mouse.
The
is
I think
Oh.
Disney's coming
I
as a whole.
actually know about this. The first time, okay, so Mickey Mouse, he was created back in the 1920s, and the original rules I think was like, I think the rules now is like after the creator died plus 50 years. So that happened, like that was gonna happen like a couple years back, and then Disney was like, we gotta change these laws so we could keep Mickey Mouse for our own, so nobody could create like funny things with him, and they like changed the whole entire like way they do like
Mickey Mouse
copyright laws.
Clubhouse.
So once again, Disney is a giant monopoly and should
yeah,
be
and money
taken apart.
talks.
When
Yeah, money talks.
the
and-
mouse- The mouse owns all.
The mouse knows all.
The
The
corporate
mouse
rat.
owns all.
The corporate
Mickey
rat.
Mouse, more like Ricky Rat.
Hey.
No.
Ricky Rat. Ricky Rat is a lot. I had a visceral reaction to
It's
that.
just like when you realize just how much Disney
Owns.
owned
Marvel.
everything.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Marvel.
It
Truly.
Lucasfilm.
It is
20th
sinister.
Century
It is
Fox.
pernicious. It is evil, nefarious, idle,
It's vocabulary.
whatever.
Yeah.
It is vocabulary. They have a domination on everything. They own our food. They own our consumption.
They don't
own
own
what we
WMSC, right?
see. They own what we yes.
Not
They
yet.
probably do in certain ways.
Mickey Mouse bangs
The
down the
rat knows
door.
all.
I think there is only
Oh my
one-
God.
There is only one solution to this. We must take to Disney, find the frozen head of Walter himself.
Whoa, yeah,
Walter.
wait, yo.
Yeah,
Not
let's
Walt,
break it back.
Walter.
Not
He said we
Walter.
ride at dawn. Like seriously.
ride at dawn.
We
Where's-
ride at dawn on the,
The
back
Disney
of
is
Goofy
coming.
and we take over.
No way.
All right, where are we going? California?
First
or
things
Florida?
first,
No, it has to be
we
in
need
Florida.
to we need to hold Minnie for ransom.
Oh,
No, not Minnie, because
no,
Mickey doesn't care about
no,
Minnie.
no.
We hold Pluto
Wow.
because he cares more about his dog than his woman. That's what we need to
Goofy.
do first.
Oh.
is dog.
Second, we need to
Pluto's
get
dog.
Donald on our side.
Donald. dude,
Donald is an
will-
op. He will
yeah,
switch.
he
We've
will
seen
switch.
it. We
Donald
know
is
it.
an op. I'm
yeah,
done.
Donald.
can't.
Yeah, Donald would switch. Yeah, he would go to our team.
Donald has been sick of Mickey for years. He's been jealous of Mickey's spotlight. He
Yeah.
should be like, this should be the Donald Duck show, the
Yeah.
Donald Duck Clubhouse, DONALD.
Lord have mercy.
Like,
I can't do a Donald Duck voice.
I need to do a whole
I could do
lore
Donald.
about Mickey
Mort?
Mouse Clubhouse coup.
Did someone say Mort?
No,
No,
we're talking about Mickey Mouse.
How about Goofy? How about Goofy? Goofy.
Laura has
no.
officially ruined Madagascar
Oh
for
my
me.
god.
Where you
Lara's gone.
No,
This
it's
is
so
Mort.
bad. Whenever I watch Madagascar, and it's been a lot recently because I've been in really nostalgic moods. Every time I see a Mort scene, I think of Laura, and it's so sad.
Mort has finally come out, JD.
I can't even hear you.
I'm scared.
Gosh.
No, it's really bad when
Gosh.
like feet jokes come up, like
No.
the running bit with
No.
with the running bit with King
See?
Julian and Mort,
No.
and I think of Laura, and I'm just like,
I'm
no,
Mickey
no, I
Mouse.
can't get this
Aha.
out of my head.
King Julian.
I love you, King Julian.
I love you, King Julian. JT, you better watch out.
I'm
FCC.
DreamWorks.
FCC. You see, Shrek doesn't own all.
Shrek should own all.
It's
Shrek should be
love.
Shrek.
Shrek
Shrek
is
is
life.
life.
Yeah. Shrek
And
is
the
love.
Lord
What
said,
are you doing in my swamp?
King Julian. King Julian, what are you doing in my swamp? King Julian.
Please God.
I hate
I
Shrek.
just, it's really astonishing how good she is at this. And
Turn
it-
off her mic.
No, don't do that.
Turn
You have
off
the
mic.
power. You have the power, Terry.
No, she's so good because she's so short, and it's just like in her nature.
What?
Oh my
Am I
god.
just the human
Shucks.
embodiment of Mort?
Yes.
Yes.
Turn it off.
You know that one scene in Madagascar 3 the lights go off and Mort just going la la. If that's not just like if I had like described Lara in one scene from pop culture, that is it.
So
Just
like
the lights go off and
what I'm hearing is if I was an animal, I would be Mort.
yes.
Yeah.
What animal?
is-
I
A
thought I'd
six-
be a house cat.
I thought he's a lemur.
I think he is a lemur.
No,
If-
I am Mort.
But
He
like
is a
more-
lemur, but I am Mort.
Marsupial.
Mort is just a Mort.
Lemurs are marsupials.
Mort is Mort.
It's a mouse lemur to be exact.
That's-
Oh,
Are they
that makes sense.
marsupials?
According, I guess. I think so.
Koala bears aren't bears. They're also marsupials.
Really?
very
What's a
interesting.
marsupial?
I don't know.
He's
It's a-
just saying it.
It's like a
Yeah.
mammal.
He's just saying it.
I didn't know that.
know what a marsupial is.
Oh,
Tell
women in
us.
STEM.
Breach.
It's like a mammal, but they have pouches.
Oh.
We have pouches. I have one on my belly
No.
flaps.
Yo, please. take
And with that
Thanks
being
for the
said,
clarification.
and with that
Thanks.
being said, you've been listening to the
Dang
Morning
it, I had a
Buzz
koala
here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Y'all should stay tuned in a few minutes because something cool is gonna happen.
Is something cool?
Yeah,
gonna
we're gonna do a
happen?
mock-up show for my ADJs because I love you guys so much.
Oh, awesome.
I thought Mort was gonna show up.
So Terry, take us
Hi.
out, Daddy. It is time.
It's time to leave.
It's time to end the morning buzz.
I hope you all had a fantastic time with us here on the
Voila.
Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC. We're gonna do a mock show, so stay tuned. I think
Yes.
potentially, but in the
Koala
meantime,
bears.
here is not what I queued up. But have a great day.